Hello, everyone. So Kenneth Okonkwo has dissociated himself from Mr. Peter Obi, and he has done a letter. I've not read this letter. I've just no, not a letter, but an article, a letter to his countrymen. Sha. So I'm reading this letter. I just decided let me read it on camera and see what it says. I've seen the headlines. Some headlines are saying that he said Peter Obi is spineless. Of course, headlines can be whatever. So I'm going to read the letter and we're going to read it together for me to see what this whole thing it's all about and where this is going to. If I tell you I'm not shocked, I'll be lying, because I'm like, the first time I saw this, I'm like, oh, maybe fake news or something. I had to actually call Kenneth Okonkwo because I just spoke to him a minute ago, and I'm like, bros, what's this? What am I saying? I just saw this thing in the blog, in this thing. Did this thing originate from me? He said, yeah. So I'm even reading this from his Twitter handle, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Now, like, okay, have you read? I said, I've not read. It's okay. When you finish reading it, let's have a conversation. And so for me, I want to do a video on it anyway. So let me kukuma be reading it as I'm going on to see, what are the words that are inside and all of that. So he said, Political Journey to a Great Nigeria by Kenneth Okonkwo. To my countrymen, with love. Okay, I have a problem with that. Okay, he did this to his countrymen, not the women. Okay, the letter is, I'm not included in the letter. So you people that are men, countrymen, I will. Let me, in short, as I'm doing, I'm writing, because I'm going to call it, we're going to talk about this. I'm going to call, we're going to have a discussion on this. I'm like, okay, the first, I need a Bible, because pencil now, it will not be showing, very well. And then I'll be thinking, what is it that I wrote? Because I write very fast. I can't start this video again. Anyway, let's continue. So, countrymen, letter, not women. So he said, to my countrymen, with love, I write to update you on my political journey so far as follows. I am committed irreversibly to a great Nigeria built on equity, justice, and fairness, where every citizen will be free and able to aspire to any position or level in life without regard to primordial sentiments built around ethnicity, religion, sex, or circumstances of birth. 2. It's obvious that the APC or PDP, as presently constituted, do not have what it takes to lead us to a great Nigeria. Indeed, their combined leadership is trying to cripple Nigeria, as this blessed country is now down economically, politically, and in every other index, leaving the people with no other option than to protest for their survival. They can see no hope for the future. 3. Unfortunately, by our constitution, we need a solid political party with solid grassroots base to be able to wrestle power from these kakistocrats and kleptocrats. We therefore need a decisive leader who will be able to build such a party of integrity and character from the grassroots, because eventually majority of the people that will populate a government will eventually proceed from the political party of the leader. A party is like a political tree that produces the fruit of the leadership cadre in government. A corrupt tree will never bear good fruits, no matter the integrity and good intentions of the leader. Nigerian problems today come from lack of internal democracy in the parties, which become a breeding ground for the production of incompetent and corrupt leaders in government. 4. We also need a decisive leader who will be selfless enough in boldness and bravery to secure our victory when the people vote for such leader, because these corrupt and incompetent leaders are not willing to conduct free and fair elections and will always snatch power from any weak and indecisive leader and run away with it. Our judiciary has not proved to be equal to the task in preventing the emergence of electoral bandits who steal electoral victories at gunpoint in the public glare of everyone. So for me, let me just even look at this number 4 and what he's talking about. I think one of the things that we always think about is always the fact that we need one leader that will come and solve the problem and show power and be. Then what's the difference between that person and dictator? What's the difference? So so sort of like the mentality is like this. We want to change Tinubu, but we want to replace Tinubu with someone like Tinubu who behaves in that certain way. and we think we're going to get something different? How is it one person is the one that is supposed to build? No, that's no longer democracy. That's now a dictatorship. And that's why that one person we get in there, we now begin to dictate, we now begin to snatch and feel that everybody owes them allegiance, or people have to do things in their own way. So that's the thing. For me, I will come as I go on. I'll talk about some of the things in my head now. So we have to be mindful. Do we really want democracy, or do we want dictatorship, but our own dictators in there? So that's the thing. You want someone to come to grab, to be this whatever leader that we want. But when we see the one that says, oh, we want democracy, but we really don't want it in that way. So that's from looking at this. So number 5, it says, I'm earnestly searching for such a leader who has the integrity and also the commensurate charisma and bravery to mobilize the people to sustain the victory in the event that Nigeria votes for such a person. The time for calm down is over. So at one hand, we want someone who has the integrity, the character, the competence, that we know we do good by Nigeria, but we want him to have also the qualities of a bandit, of a dictator, of snatch, run, grab. Most times those things don't work together. So you want the quality of someone who wants to do the right thing. We all have to put our hands and do the democracy the way it is. Or you want the other one. There's no how someone who will have the integrity and all of that will not be tainted if they've done all of those things. So you can't be the one that will grab, snatch, you don't care about people, you do whatever it takes to get the power, you will bribe people, you will be on the street, you say let them burn everything, burn the country down because this, that, and get it, bring violence, use this, use that, and then you want to have that integrity. It doesn't work. There's something about all these things that taint. And when the soul is corrupted, the moment you are tainted, you're corrupted, you will now begin to behave that way. I'm sure for those that knew people like Tinubu a long time ago, they didn't start from there. It's little by little. Say, oh, it's okay to use this violence. After all, we want to get this thing. It's okay to, by the time you use it, you lose a little bit of evil, this evil, that evil. You wake up one day, you are not the evil. Sure you get. Anyway, in continuation, I think this video might end up being extremely, long, but I hope not. Next 6, I recall how we suffered and risked all to liberate Nigeria from the shackles of these kakistocrats and kleptocrats in 2023, only for the victory to be stolen. It is obvious that the judiciary will not give us democracy because of abuse of the judicial process. The people must take their own destiny in their hands. They must be willing to vote the right person as the president. They must be willing to fight to ensure that the person is sworn in as president. However, the person must be willing to be in the forefront of such endeavor. The suffering Nigerians are going through now from the people they didn't vote for, but who snatch power, cannot be allowed to continue. These people will still remain in power come 2027 unless a decisive leader emerges to stop them with the votes of the people. So like I said before, we want someone with competence, character, capacity. Then you want someone with the kind of shenanigans that Tinubu has to be able to go on. And for me, I don't think that's the way. That's my own personal opinion anyways. One of the things I look for me, everything that has to do working within the ambit of the law is harder. It's very hard. You have to put in a lot. Sometimes it's as if working, but for me, that is where I will always be. Anything that it has to be within the ambit of the law. So that I'll know when I look at myself in the mirror, I know, yes, I did the right thing. I might not, even if I don't win, even if I don't get it, but doing the right thing, the process that brings someone in must be clean. For me, that's where personally I stand. And so therefore, yes, the judicial, this thing was not, there's no judicial freedom and stuff like that. But one of the things I'm looking at is the fact that what are we doing to get all of those, what do you call them, polling unit agents everywhere? Make sure that every result sheet within 72 hours, they are collected, they are locked up, they are kept. You're going to court, every single result sheet, you take it down to that court. You have the copies, you have everything, and say to them, see these result sheets. Let's see what it is that you're going to do. Overwhelm them with evidence. I don't trust the judiciary. I've never trusted the judiciary. Overwhelm them with evidence. Yes, we saw the 2023 election. The evidence that we're giving to them, they came out to say, okay, some they didn't want. Fine. The way they want, the one they said they want, you go and do it and go for it and go on. The moment you go the way of the evil ways of the people who are there, then you become tainted. You turn up to be one of them. That's why you see people fight for certain things. They fight, and then they turn out to be the people that they are actually, fighting for. For me, that's the thing that I see. So let me go back and continue. He said, to serve them with, however, okay. Number 7, it says, I'm trying to, what's happening? Okay. Oh my God, this is going to be long. Number 7, what is happening in Labour Party today has inspired in me a determination to chart a new course for my political journey. After the 2023 general elections, Nigerians, including me, had high hopes on Labour Party. I believe that Peter Obi will seize the momentum and build a solid party of integrity that will have the solid base that we need to overthrow the kakistocrats and kleptocrats. He just needed to give the right directives, and everyone will fall in line. Why? Why is he the one that has to give directives? Is he a democracy or dictator? Is Peter Obi supposed to come in and be a dictator? That part I don't understand. If you give directives and everyone follow, I'm not following that, except I know we sit down as Democrats, sit down, work out the directive, not waiting for one person to do the directive. For me, this is where I always sit down. I look at the 2023 election, so what did I do? What could I have done better? What did I not do well that made this people to be able to snatch it? It's not to sit down and be looking at Peter Obi and say that, oh, Peter Obi is the one that ought to have done. But anyway, let me continue. Falling in line. Okay, 8. I received my first shock, he said, when he publicly declared that he didn't promise Nigerians to build a strong Labour Party, but to solve Nigerian problem. I was like, does it mean His Excellency Peter Obi is not aware that without a solid party base, we are heading to nowhere politically? However, I continued in his defense, believing he will still privately bring the needed solution to Labour Party problems to no avail, according to him. PO also publicly, I'm now in 9, that's Peter Obi, PO also publicly demanded that the Abure-led National Working Committee must organize an all-inclusive convention that will guarantee the participation of all members of the Labour Party in the choice of their leaders. This didn't happen. And surprisingly, PO refused to disassociate himself from the shenanigans and criminal activities of the former NWC as their time has expired. Every member of Labour Party is confused today as to the future of Labour Party because of the lack of leadership from PO over the party. And unfortunately, when they look up to me to tell them about PO's standpoint, I sincerely have nothing to tell them because I don't know myself. I cannot continue to speak on behalf of a leader that I do not know how he stands on issues of great importance. I simply don't know how to manipulate. Facts. So let me even stop there and put a bit of explanation of that. I remember, like this conversation, having this kind of conversation with Peter Obi, like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then it dawned on me, like, that's when I realized that, okay, we are saying somebody should be a dictator. And then we say we are fighting dictators. Take in the party, take over the party, do this, do that, and do this thing. And I remember the conversation that I had with Peter Obi. We sat down and we was like, look, I'm a member. Peter Obi is not a member of NWC. Peter Obi is not a member of, he's not a member of the council. He's a card-carrying member. Yes, he was a presidential candidate. And if he had won the, if he had been sworn in, he won the election. He was was sworn in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He automatically becomes the leader, because the highest political, this is like right now, I think is Alex Oti, because that's the highest office that they have in terms of like governor. And so that's what he is. Even like some issues where he doesn't have vote. Yes, he has that charismatic power as a leader, but he doesn't have constitutional this thing. It's not for him to say, okay, do this. So he has followed and said, do this, work on this, do that. And some of them have not, they don't want to do that. Those are the things that he's working on. But at the same time also, and I think there's so much expectation where we think that one person should come in, solve all the problems. It's a collective thing. All of us are supposed to sit down there and solve all the problems. A collective thing. Then one person, we're waiting for that one person. And then why would he not go in there and thought to be and become something like the Tinubus that we see today? Because that's exactly what we are building the ground for. Is it a democracy? A democracy should be. Because sometimes people are like, okay, you have the money, use money. Because that's what a lot of these people do. They go into parties, they buy off the party, they use the party money. Just like what we saw Wike did with PDP, using all of that money that he used to now bamboozle everybody, take control of the party, hijacking. If we bring it to a Labour Party, Peter Obi begins to do that, then what's the difference between Peter Obi and all these other people? Anyway, let me continue. Okay, so number 10, he said, I'm shocked that PO could not openly support the noble efforts of the labor union, who founded the Labour Party as a base to fight for the welfare of workers, to the extent that some of them are openly saying that PO is not the problem of Labour Party. The labor unions now have the unfortunate situation where they are fighting criminals who want to hijack their party, when an ordinary statement from PO would have brought the solution. I cannot continue with this ambivalence forever. Lawyers now, they like the big word. One of the things for me, I would say here, is the fact that, in the Nigerian way, everything is about strategy and you have to be focused. There was a deliberate effort to get Peter Obi embroiled in political party affairs, so that he will be there solving problem, all sorts of shenanigans coming on, and he will not focus on national issues. So there, you could see there was a deliberate manipulation, which was get him involved, put wahala, put whatever in that party, let him be running skelter, trying to solve it, let him be focused only on that, and not focus on also the national issues that were happening, and you get him engaged. And he simply refused to allow himself to be pulled down into that rabbit hole, and was to say, let's work on this thing. He talks to them, he met with them, he has conversation. I'm not a Labour Party member, so whatever it is, when it comes to Labour Party issues or Labour Party affairs, Kenneth Okonkwo, of course, is more of an expert than I am, because I never was a member. I've never been a member of a political party, but definitely in the future, I'm going to be a member of a political party, but definitely I'm going to check the political party that aligns with my character. For me, that's one of the things. All this why I could have entered a political party in 2019. I supported a presidential candidate, but I said no, because for me, I just want to, because I don't want to get into, I don't want to get to a place where I enter a party tomorrow, I'm looking for, if I enter a party, I die there. If I come out for that party, I'll come out, go sit down, not do party anything. So I'm that's part of the reason why I play. So I really don't have, but I do know one of the things, and we all sat down, have this that discussion. One of the things that was being put, which is done a lot of time, we've seen it happen again and again. They put problem in your political party, and you're so involved in all of those things that you're doing, and then you don't have time to actually focus on national issues the way Peter Obi has really, focused on national issues and brought out issues and be there and stood for the people of Nigeria. So coming down again is to number 11. He said, I am of course in full support of the labor unions and other stakeholders who are now compelled to fight for the soul of Labour Party without the support of Peter Obi. I don't know where that is coming from. I don't know, but for me, I've seen Peter Obi really focus on getting that Labour Party to be where it's supposed to be. And one of the things, like me, there've been a lot of people that advise, I say, look, okay, leave this party, you can move, or some have said start up a new party. He's always like, okay, it needs to be worked on. And so I don't know where this particular statement is coming from, but hey, like I said, I'm not in Labour Party, so he's more knowledgeable about Labour Party than I am. Number 12, however, the consequence is that I no longer have the confidence that Peter Obi has what it takes to build a party that can win these kakistocrats and kleptocrats. And above all, he has proved that even if the people vote for him, he doesn't have what it takes to secure the mandate. I don't intend to embark on such campaign as we did in 2023, projecting a person who cannot sustain the victory if he wins. This is a typical Nigerian thing where we blame the victim instead of the perpetrators. People do things that are wrong, people that are wrong, and so now you've absorbed the criminals that have done the criminality. You're not blaming the person that crime was done against, that he too did not do crime to fight the criminality. And how do we get a good Nigeria if we're saying everyone should be evil, everyone should be criminal in the way that they do things? I think for me personally, and this one I'm not even speaking for Mr. Peter Obi, for me personally, I would rather not win anything, I would rather not get anything than use crime or criminality to get it done. Even in my business, I've lost a lot of businesses that would have made me money. I rather said, no, I'm not going to do it. I move on. Even though I end up losing money, I would rather lose money than say I use criminality. And that's why, for me personally, I'm able to speak today the way I do. That's why Peter Obi, he can talk on all issues. He can take on anyone. Nobody is coming out to say, oh, this is why you did this. They've tried all the propaganda. It hasn't worked for them because he has kept himself clean in terms of the process. And remember what Mr. Peter Obi said when he said that, the process that brings you in, for you to be called excellency, the process that brings you in must be excellent. So you can't go and embark on criminality just because you want to win it by force. And Mr. Peter Obi has always said that he's not desperate to be the president of Nigeria. He's not desperate to win the election, but he's desperate for Nigeria to work. That's the key difference. We are looking for people who are desperate. We want to have a Mr. Peter Obi be desperate to be president and do everything, even when it involves killing people, bribing INEC, destroying judiciary, everything just to get there. Nah, then what would that be? It would be one of same old kind of people. That's when everybody will now have skeletons in your cupboard. Everybody will now be coming and holding on to one thing and doing one thing or the other. But hey, okay, so number 13, he said, it's in this regard that I've decided to continue my political journey into the great Nigeria of our vision without Peter Obi. I'm always 100% loyal to a leader whenever I am, okay, the next page, whenever I'm working or following the leader. At any time I have doubts within me that I can no longer offer 100% loyalty to him, I will respectfully let everyone know. When I joined myself to his campaign, I made it public Now that I cannot guarantee my support for his future political aspirations, I believe I owe it to everyone to let everyone know. This has nothing to do with any desire to join APC or PDP. I will perpetually be joined to the Nigerian people and the aspirations for a new, better and greater Nigeria. There is also absolutely nothing personal with my decision to adjust my relationship with His Excellency Peter Obi. It is 100% based on principles and my conviction that I need a more decisive, bold, brave leader with integrity and team spirit who can confront these kakistocrats and kleptocrats head on. I'll continue to respect him and cherish the periods we work together. With this declaration, I'm free to embark on negotiation and consultation with every like-minded people to determine the next step in my political journey, which does not include joining APC or PDP for now, but includes and not limited to consolidation of Labour Party. Nigeria must regain its greatness, whether the kakistocrats and kleptocrats like it or not. Protest is a democratic right of the people. Nobody should prevent the people from protesting, even as the protesters should endeavor to be peaceful. The government must deploy all its wisdom and exercise extreme restraint in the management of the protest of the people. The best method of avoiding protest is good governance. With bad governance, protest is inevitable. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So that's the statement. Like I said, I needed to read that statement because some of the headlines, the words they were using in the headlines, of course, I didn't find them in this statement that you need, but you saw the overall for him. Kenneth Okonkwo feels that Peter Obi is not the kind of leader that is going to do everything to be president, but rather everything to make Nigeria work. So there's a difference. So he feels at this moment, and everyone must always respect everyone's choices to be able to do this. So yes, I've read it now. We've read it together. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll continue our conversation. Thank you so much for watching. Well, that's politics for you. So let me ask you, for me, I'm with Mr. Peter Obi, 100%. What about you?